A rounded beard or a straight beard? Which one is better? In this video, we're going to go over pros and cons of both of them, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of food for thought to think about when you come up with planning the best style for your beard. And to answer this directly right off the start, it all comes down to personal preference. There is no right or wrong answer, but I do think that there are details you should consider to see what is going to be the best situation for you and the style that you come up with. But I do want to introduce myself. My name is Dan C. Bearded. I want to say thank you for checking this video out. If you're excited to hear what I have to say or to read the comments and see what others have to say, go ahead and hit a thumbs up for me on the video. And if you're not subscribed here and you like taking care of beards or learning about beards or looking at beards, please consider subscribing, and shout out to those returning subscribers. Okay, rounded beard versus a straight beard. That kind of is like all the different styles and all the different categories of beards. We can narrow it down to those two. Essentially, you're going to have something that's going to be like mine, where it's going to have kind of soft lines, or you're going to have something that's very angular and very harsh with the lines. And I don't say harsh in a bad way. Some of my favorite beards, some of the beards that I had like big time beard envy and beard goals for, are very angular. Earlier in my journey, I definitely had a more straight beard, and then I've kind of more rounded it out as I've gone, and I've had the round beard for several years now. So let's talk about that one first, because I have a lot of personal experience there. What is the benefit of a rounded beard? And a lot of these are going to be the pros of one and the con of the other. So a benefit of a rounded beard, I believe, is you get a little bit of forgiveness on your style. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, when you have a straight beard, if I were to take my beard right now, I could go to a straight beard immediately. I would just go and cut it across right there. Well, that is going to be a very particular look. It is very clear what that beard is supposed to look like every day. So you don't get a lot of forgiveness. That means that you have to trim more often, and you have to be really dialed in with your styling. Because if a straight line is off by a little bit, you're going to notice. When you have a rounded beard, you get a little bit of forgiveness, right? I got a little something going on over here, a little bit here. You probably didn't even notice. It probably doesn't stick out to other people's minds until I point it out, because you get that forgiveness. You can go longer without a trim. It requires less maintenance. It's easier to kind of cover up a style. You'll see me doing stuff like this, and I can do that. When you have a straight beard, when you do that, it's gonna kind of leave stuff hanging here, doing a little whoop whoop here and a little zoop zoop down here. And if you have that kind of angular, dialed in straight beard look, that can be hard to maintain. Now, on the flip side, and I guess we're not just starting with the rounded one, we're just going to kind of talk about it all together. On the flip side, when you do have that angular straight beard, it looks very purposeful, very intentional. My beard, I still think is purposeful. I still think it's intentional, but it does lean more towards a natural look, more towards flirting with not being as purposeful, but you can still, I think, achieve with both. But I do know when you have that straight across look, I guarantee you're going to get comments about the trim, about the shape. Oh my gosh, I love your beard. It's so sharp. It looks so nice. That sends a clear message that you're really going for it. I also believe that it does depend on your face shape. I do believe that it depends on the style of your beard as well. Let's say you have a really rounded face. Something angular can bring a little bit of definition to your style. If you have like a really rounded face and you go with that God of War or almost scuba-like beard, that can help out. So you got to play the factors that you have given to you. What is your look? What is your style that you're going for? And then kind of consider from there. Now, what about ease of trimming? Which one is easier to trim? I do believe that the straight across is easier, right? There's nothing that you have to worry about other than just keeping it level. Pretty dang simple. This one I still think is pretty simple, but you do have to have an even angle of going down here with bringing up the even angle on the side. And then you have to consider, do I flatten it at the bottom? Do I have a perfect round at the bottom? Well, what if I come off too heavy over here? I do believe that that's a little bit more difficult to trim the style, but once you get that down, I think it's pretty simple. So there's a lot of pros and cons. And I've been asked this question a few times lately. That's why I wanted to make a video on it. There's no right or wrong answer. If you send me pictures and you say, hey, Dan, what do you think would be a good goal or a good look for my beard? I'll analyze and I'll give my perspective and my opinion, but that's just one person, right? That my opinion isn't worth anything to your look unless you ask and you really value it. I'm happy to do that. But there's no playbook. There's no like, oh, he has here, we need to dial here, angle here. It doesn't quite work that way. Maybe one day, maybe we'll have some like AI generated technology that calculates what's best for you. That's kind of freaky and scares me a bit, but I almost see it coming. You're welcome. That's a free idea, you guys. Somebody can take that, run with it, get rich. Just give me some credit once you blow up and you let me know that Dancy Bearded gave you the idea. But to wrap this up, you guys, I would love to hear from you. Do you believe a rounded or a straight beard is better in general? Do you think it's just entirely personal preference? Or are there certain factors that lend themselves, right? To kind of add one more little point, I believe the longer the beard, the more rounded it should be. I believe if you have a shorter beard, it's your option, but I think you can get away with those straight lines better with a shorter beard. Again, just my perspective, just my opinion there. What do you guys think? Give me some experience, give me some thoughts, and especially give me some questions here. Coming up with the style that works best for you is awesome, but keep in mind, it can change over time. Switch it up, try new things. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Thank you guys for watching today. One more time, my name's Dancy Bearded. I hope that you stay bearded, straight line, rounded line, any line, and stay positive.